In the heart of California's Sierra Nevada, there lies a sanctuary sculpted by the relentless forces of nature, granite shaped by ancient glaciers, rivers, and the slow passage of time. Here, the land rises and falls in dramatic sweeps, with sheer cliffs and deep valleys carved over eons, each stone bearing silent witness to the planet's restless energy. This is Yosemite National Park, a vast expanse of over 1,000 square miles, where the monolithic faces of El Capitan and Half Dome rise abruptly from the valley floor. Their granite walls, streaked with mineral veins and lichen, glow in the shifting light, sometimes golden, sometimes silver, always awe-inspiring. These colossal formations stand as ancient guardians, their summits often shrouded in mist, their shadows stretching across meadows and forests below. The park is a realm of contrasts. In spring, Yosemite Falls thunders down in a spectacular cascade, its waters fed by melting snow high in the mountains. Mist rises from the base, nourishing mosses and ferns that cling to the rocks. In the Mariposa Grove, ancient giant sequoias, some over 3,000 years old, stand in silent majesty, their cinnamon-red bark thick and furrowed, their crowns reaching toward the sky. Here the air is cool and fragrant, filled with the soft rustle of needles and the distant call of birds. Sunlight filters through the dense canopy, dappling the forest floor in shifting patterns of gold and green. The undergrowth is alive with movement, shadows darting between ferns, the flicker of a tail, the glint of an eye. This is not merely a landscape of stone and water, but a living cathedral, where every tree, every stream, every patch of moss is part of a vast interconnected web of life. Within this grand stage, an astonishing array of creatures thrives. The meadows, forests, and rivers are home to a cast of characters as diverse as the landscape itself. Over 400 species of wildlife inhabit these wild spaces. Black-tailed deer graze in sunlit clearings, their ears flicking at the slightest sound. Birds of every hue flit among the branches. Steller's jays with their electric blue feathers, woodpeckers drumming on bark, and warblers weaving through shafts of light. Reptiles bask on warm rocks, while salamanders slip quietly beneath damp logs. The American black bear, the park's largest omnivore, roams the meadows and forests. Its powerful frame moves with surprising grace, nose to the ground, searching for berries, insects, and roots. In the cool shade of the trees, it pauses to listen, every sense attuned to the rhythms of the wild. High above, among the granite boulders and alpine meadows, the tiny pika makes its home. This small, round mammal scurries between rocks, gathering grasses and wildflowers to store for the long winter. Its sharp call echoes across the silent heights, a reminder of life's persistence in even the harshest environments. Every creature here, from the soaring peregrine falcon to the secretive bobcat, has a story woven into the fabric of this place. Their lives intersect in subtle, intricate ways. Predator and prey, pollinator and blossom, each playing a role in the ongoing drama of survival. The rhythm of life in Yosemite is dictated by the changing seasons. Spring brings torrents of water and a burst of new growth. Summer's warmth fills the meadows with wildflowers and the air with the hum of insects. Autumn cloaks the forests in gold and crimson, while animals prepare for the lean months ahead. Winter descends in silence, blanketing the land in snow, testing the endurance of all who dwell here. Survival in this wild cathedral demands constant adaptation. Mule deer navigate steep slopes in search of food, their hooves sure on rocky ground. Squirrels leap from branch to branch, caching acorns for the winter. Coyotes move silently through the grass, ever watchful, ever hungry. Each animal faces its own challenges, shaped by the land and the relentless cycle of the seasons. The landscape itself is a living record of change. Ancient forests stand where glaciers once flowed, and meadows bloom where fire once swept. the rivers carve new paths, and the mountains slowly rise, shaped by forces both seen and unseen. In the quiet dawn, the valley is shrouded in mist, the first rays of sunlight illuminating untouched wilderness. Here the world feels timeless, as if the land itself remembers every storm, every drought, every moment of abundance and scarcity. Delete this line as it references humans. Delete this line as it references humans. Yet this sanctuary is not immune to change. Wildfires sweep through the forests, their smoke curling above the treetops. Animals sense the shift in the air, adapting to new challenges as the environment transforms around them. The balance of life here is delicate, shaped by both ancient cycles and sudden upheavals. As the seasons turn, the park is reborn again and again. Snow melts into rushing streams, meadows burst into bloom, forests blaze with autumn color, and the land slumbers beneath a winter shroud. Each season brings its own trials and opportunities, shaping the lives of every creature that calls this place home. In spring, the meadows are painted with wildflowers, lupine, shooting star, and monkey flower, while fawns and fledglings take their first tentative steps into the world. New life emerges everywhere, fragile yet determined, as the cycle of renewal begins anew. Summer brings abundance, but also danger. Predators prowl the tall grass, their senses sharp, while prey animals remain ever vigilant. The sun beats down, rivers run low, and every creature must use its wits and instincts to survive. Autumn is a time of preparation. Squirrels gather acorns and seeds, storing them in hidden caches. Bears gorge on berries and roots, building reserves for the cold months ahead. The forest floor is carpeted with fallen leaves, and the air is filled with the scent of earth and wood smoke. Winter transforms Yosemite into a realm of silence and endurance. Snow blankets the land, muffling every sound. Bobcats and deer move quietly through the drifts, their tracks the only sign of life. Food is scarce, and survival depends on resourcefulness and resilience. Through the eyes of the animals that dwell here, we witness the profound interconnectedness of all living things. Every life, from the smallest insect to the mightiest bear, is woven into the tapestry of this wild cathedral. The balance is delicate, the beauty immense, and the story of Yosemite is one of endurance, adaptation, and the eternal dance of life. As summer unfurls its golden cloak over Yosemite, the valley awakens into a living tapestry, every corner pulsing with the rhythm of life. The air shimmers with warmth, and the land itself seems to breathe, exhaling a bounty that draws creatures from every hidden hollow and shaded glen. The meadows, once subdued by winter's grip, now explode in a riot of wildflowers, lupine, paintbrush, and goldenrod, each blossom a beacon for pollinators. Bees and butterflies drift from petal to petal, their delicate wings dusted with pollen, orchestrating the silent symphony of renewal. The Merced River, fed by the last of the snowmelt, glides through the valley like a silver ribbon. Its banks are alive with the chatter of life. Frogs croak from the shallows, dragonflies dart above the surface, and fish flash beneath the ripples, all drawn to the river's cool embrace. For the animals of Yosemite, this is a season of promise. Deer graze in the open, their coats sleek and shining, while mothers nudge their fawns toward tender shoots. Birds flit from branch to branch, gathering insects and seeds to feed their hungry broods nestled in hidden nests. Plants surge skyward, racing to capture the sun's energy. In the forests, squirrels leap from limb to limb, their movements a blur as they chase rivals and search for food. Every creature is driven by the urgency of the season, knowing that this abundance is fleeting. Among the most tireless of Yosemite's residents is the beaver. With the days at their longest, these master builders are relentless, gnawing through aspen and willow, their teeth carving through wood with astonishing efficiency. Along the riverbanks, beavers drag branches through the water, weaving them into sturdy dams. Each stick is placed with purpose, each movement a testament to generations of instinct and adaptation. With jaws strong enough to fell trees, a single beaver can harvest hundreds of branches in a season. Their dams slow the river's flow, creating deep pools that transform the landscape. These sprawling structures reshape the valley, flooding meadows and carving out new wetlands. The beaver's handiwork is a force of nature, altering the course of streams and creating sanctuaries for countless other species. In these ponds, fish spawn in safety, and amphibians lay their eggs among the reeds. The wetlands teem with life. Turtles bask on sun-warmed logs, herons stalk the shallows, and insects swarm in clouds above the water, feeding swallows and bats as dusk falls. Beneath the canopy, the undergrowth is thick with ferns and berry bushes. Mice and voles scurry through the shadows, foraging for seeds and fruit, while larger animals like black bears roam the meadows, drawn by the scent of ripening berries and the promise of an easy meal. The Douglas squirrels are a whirlwind of activity, their sharp calls echoing through the pines. They race up and down trunks, gathering pine nuts in a frantic harvest, caching their treasures in hidden crevices for leaner times ahead. Along the river, a kingfisher perches in silent anticipation. With a sudden burst of motion, it plunges into the water, emerging with a wriggling fish clamped in its beak, a master of precision in a world of abundance. In the meadows, life unfolds in miniature and grand scale. Insects swarm among the blossoms, pollinating the next generation of plants. Mule deer fawns, their coats dappled with white, wobble on unsteady legs, learning the ways of the wild under the watchful gaze of their mothers. Yet, this season of plenty is also a time of rivalry. Food may be abundant, but so are mouths to feed. Squirrels chase each other from favoured trees, and birds defend their nesting sites with fierce determination. Every creature remains alert, senses sharpened by the knowledge that danger is never far away. The dense meadows conceal both prey and predator, and a moment's inattention can mean the difference between life and death. Predators, too, are drawn by the abundance. Coyotes slink through the grass, eyes fixed on the vulnerable young. Hawks circle overhead, scanning for the slightest movement below. The forest rings with alarm calls. Jays shriek warnings from the treetops, and the underbrush rustles as a coyote moves with practiced stealth. Every sound is a signal, every shadow a potential threat. In this season of abundance, Yosemite's wild inhabitants are locked in a delicate balance. Each day is a dance between feasting and vigilance, growth and survival, a testament to the intricate web of life that flourishes when the land is generous and the wild heart of the valley beats strong. As the sun climbs high and the days stretch long, Yosemite transforms into a living stage where predator and prey engage in a relentless contest of survival. The warmth of summer stirs the park's most formidable hunters, who move with a quiet, lethal grace through forests, meadows, and rocky outcrops, each step calculated, every sense alert. Among the most elusive is the bobcat, a master of shadow and stealth. Weighing up to 30 pounds, this feline hunter is built for ambush. Its summer territory expands to nearly 10 square miles, a vast domain it patrols with tireless determination. The bobcat's world is one of silence and patience, where every movement is measured and every sound is a potential clue to the presence of prey. Its spotted coat blends seamlessly with the dappled light of the forest floor, allowing it to vanish in plain sight. The bobcat can sit motionless for hours, muscles coiled, eyes fixed on a single unsuspecting squirrel or rabbit. When the moment comes, it explodes into action, leaping up to 10 feet in a single bound. The drama is swift and silent, a blur of fur, a flash of claws, and the outcome is decided in an instant. Above the tangled forests and open meadows, another hunter reigns supreme. The golden eagle, a shadow against the endless blue, surveys its vast domain from the sky, its presence both regal and ominous. With a wingspan stretching nearly 7 feet, the golden eagle is the undisputed ruler of the air. Its vision, 5 times sharper than a human's, can detect the faintest twitch of a marmot or ground squirrel from 2 miles away. Every movement below is scrutinized, every shadow a possible meal. When prey is spotted, the eagle folds its wings and plunges earthward in a breathtaking stoop, reaching speeds of up to 150 miles per hour. The air whistles past as it closes the distance in seconds, the drama unfolding in a blur of feathers and wind, its talons striking with a force of 400 pounds per square inch are weapons of precision and power. Few creatures can escape once the eagle's grip closes around them. The struggle is brief, the outcome determined by the eagle's unmatched speed and strength. As the sun dips and shadows lengthen, the drama shifts. Dusk brings new actors to the stage, and the forest stirs with the movements of creatures adapted to the night. The grey fox, a uniquely adaptable omnivore, emerges from its den. Unlike other canids, the grey fox is a skilled climber, using sharp, hooked claws to ascend trees in search of fruit, birds, or safety from larger predators. Its agility allows it to exploit resources unavailable to others, making it a versatile and resourceful hunter. Primarily nocturnal, the grey fox moves under the cover of darkness, avoiding the open spaces where eagles might hunt. Its large ears swivel to catch the faintest rustle, and its nose guides it to hidden caches of food. Every night is a test of wit and caution, as the fox must outmaneuver both prey and potential threats. With a population of several thousand in the park, grey foxes play a vital role in the ecosystem. They hunt small rodents, scavenge for carrion, and consume fruit, ensuring that nothing in this intricate web of life is wasted. Their intelligence and adaptability make them both predator and opportunist, shaping the balance of life in Yosemite. Each of these hunters, earthbound bobcat, soaring eagle, and clever fox, embodies a different strategy for survival. The bobcat relies on patience and stealth, the eagle on vision and speed, the fox on adaptability and cunning. Their lives are woven together in a tapestry of pursuit and evasion, where every day brings new challenges and opportunities. The eyes of predator and prey are always watching, always calculating. A single misstep can mean the difference between life and death. The tension is constant, the stakes impossibly high. Success is never certain. Even the bobcat, with all its skill, succeeds in only 30 to 50% of its hunts. Each failed attempt is a lesson, each escape a narrow victory for the prey, rabbits, squirrels, and deer, all living in a state of perpetual alertness. The presence of these hunters shapes the very behavior of their prey. Deer freeze at the snap of a twig, rabbits dash for cover at the flicker of a shadow, and squirrels chatter warnings from the treetops. Every animal is attuned to the rhythms of pursuit and escape, their lives a daily gamble in the wild. In this untamed heart of Yosemite, the struggle for survival is fierce and beautiful. The bobcat, the golden eagle, and the grey fox are the enforcers of a natural order, their presence a testament to the drama and complexity of life in the wild. Here, every day is a new chapter in the ancient story of predator and prey, written in the tracks on the forest floor and the silent flight of wings overhead. As the vibrant greens of summer slowly give way to the fiery golds, reds, and oranges of autumn, a palpable sense of urgency descends upon Yosemite. The air grows crisp, the days shorten, and the angle of the sun casts long, deep shadows across the valley. This is a season of transition, a final, fleeting period of abundance before the lean months of winter arrive. For the wildlife of the park, autumn is not a time for rest. It is a frantic race against the clock, as every creature senses the subtle cues of the changing season. Cooler nights, the scent of decaying leaves, and the dwindling hours of daylight. Every animal, from the largest bear to the smallest squirrel, is driven by an ancient, instinctual need to prepare for the great stillness that is to come. Squirrels, for example, become tireless gatherers, collecting acorns and pine cones, sorting and hiding them in countless secret caches, relying on memory and scent to retrieve them months later. No creature embodies this autumnal urgency more than the American black bear. After a summer of relatively easy living, the bear enters a state known as hyperphagia, a period of intense obsessive eating. The bear's metabolism shifts, and its body becomes a machine for storing energy, with hormones signaling the need to consume food almost constantly. Its entire existence becomes singularly focused on consuming as many calories as possible, with a keen sense of smell guiding it to the richest patches of berries, the most abundant stands of oak, and even insect colonies hidden beneath logs. A single bear might devour up to 20,000 calories in a day, a diet of acorns, berries, insects, and anything else it can find, to build up the essential layers of fat needed for hibernation. The bear's digestive system adapts, maximizing nutrient absorption and storing fat efficiently. This relentless foraging can cause a bear to increase its body weight by 30%, a critical buffer that will sustain it through the long, cold months ahead when the world is silent and food is scarce. At the same time, great movements are underway across the park. The changing angle of sunlight and the first frosts signal to many animals that it is time to move. The mule deer, which spent the summer grazing in the high country meadows, begin their annual migration. Driven by the first signs of snow at higher elevations, the deer sense subtle changes in temperature and the taste of frost on the wind. Herds numbering in the thousands start to make their way down to the relative safety and milder climate of the foothills and valleys, following ancient migratory routes passed down through generations. This journey is essential for their survival, as the high country becomes inhospitable and food sources dwindle. During this time, they gorge on vegetation, selecting the most nutrient-rich plants and grasses to maximize fat reserves. Adding 15 to 20% to their body fat, their coats thicken and their bodies adapt to conserve energy for the coming cold. Their knowledge of the terrain is critical, as recent studies have shown that deer who navigate more complex, varied landscapes have a significantly higher chance of surviving the winter. They instinctively seek out sheltered valleys and south-facing slopes, where snow is thinner and food more accessible. The park's smaller predators are also busy preparing, each adapting in unique ways to the shifting environment. The coyote, one of Yosemite's most adaptable residents, shifts its strategy. Its coat thickens, and its senses sharpen as it listens for the rustle of rodents beneath fallen leaves. While still an active hunter of small mammals, the coyote's diet broadens, taking advantage of whatever the season offers: fallen fruit, insects, and even carrion left by larger predators. It also becomes a diligent planner, using its keen memory to remember the locations of hidden food stores. When it catches more food than it can immediately consume, it carefully digs shallow holes and caches the excess, using its sensitive nose to mark the spot, creating a hidden pantry of resources that it can return to when fresh prey becomes scarce in the snow-covered landscape. The coyote's survival depends on this foresight. This foresight is a key survival tactic, allowing the coyote to thrive even when the world around it is frozen and seemingly barren, its thickened fur and sharp instincts keeping it one step ahead of hunger. In this way, each animal, through instinct, adaptation, and acute awareness of environmental cues, ensures its lineage continues through the harshest of seasons, embodying the wild wonders of Yosemite's great preparation. As winter descends upon Yosemite, a profound transformation sweeps across the land. The vibrant symphony of summer fades, replaced by a deep, enveloping silence. The valley, once alive with movement and sound, now lies beneath a pristine shroud of snow, its contours softened, its colors muted, its energy stilled. The world seems to hold its breath. Waterfalls, once thundering with life, are now silent, their power captured in delicate sculptures of ice that cling to the ancient granite. Each icicle, each frozen cascade, is a testament to the artistry of winter, transforming the familiar into something ethereal and new. Snowfall blankets the valley in layers of white, sometimes piling over 5 feet deep, and in the high country drifts can reach more than 17 feet. The air grows sharp and crystalline, temperatures plunging well below freezing, and the landscape is hushed beneath the weight of winter's embrace. Yet beneath this great stillness, life endures. For the creatures of Yosemite, winter is the ultimate test, a season that demands both preparation and adaptation. Every movement is measured, every breath precious, as animals rely on the stores and skills honed through countless generations. The forest stands silent, its trees draped in snow, their branches heavy and unmoving. The only sounds are the soft sigh of wind through needles and the distant creak of ice. It is a world of scarcity and cold, where the struggle for survival is waged in quiet determination. Deep within the earth, hidden beneath the roots of fallen trees or nestled in rocky crevices, the black bear surrenders to the season. In the darkness of its den, it enters hibernation, a remarkable state of suspended animation, where life slows to a near standstill. This is not mere sleep, but a profound transformation. The bear's breathing becomes shallow, its heart slows to a gentle rhythm, and its body temperature drops, conserving every ounce of energy. With each slow breath, the bear drifts deeper into stillness. Its heart, which once beat with the vigor of summer, now pulses just 8 times a minute, a quiet metronome in the silence of the den. Its body, perfectly adapted for this long pause, draws on reserves built through months of foraging. For 4 to 7 months, the bear will not eat, drink, or stir, surviving on the fat it so carefully stored. Time passes slowly in the den, the world outside shifting and changing while the bear remains in a state of suspended life, waiting for the warmth of spring. In the heart of this darkness, new life quietly begins. Female bears give birth to tiny blind cubs, nurturing them in the warmth of the den. The miracle of birth unfolds in silence, a promise of renewal hidden beneath the snow. Outside, the predators of Yosemite move with careful purpose. For them, winter is a relentless challenge, each day a search for sustenance in a world where prey is scarce and well hidden. The golden eagle, master of the summer skies, now glides over a landscape transformed. Its sharp eyes scan the snow for any sign of movement, but most prey lies hidden beneath the frozen surface. The eagle's search grows ever wider, its territory expanding to over 150 square miles. For hours it soars in the frigid air, a solitary figure against the vast white expanse, driven by hunger and the will to survive. When hunting fails, the eagle turns to scavenging, feeding on the remains of those who did not survive the cold. In this season, even the mightiest must adapt, relying on whatever the land provides. For the eagle, winter is a time of trial. The population, already fragile, faces the harshest test, and only the strongest will endure to see the return of spring. Yet even in the deepest snow, subtle signs of life persist. Tiny tracks crisscross the drifts, evidence of creatures moving beneath the surface, unseen but ever present. The coyote, alert and resourceful, listens intently to the muffled world. Its senses are sharpened by necessity, every sound and scent a clue in the silent landscape. Its thick winter coat shields it from the biting cold, while its keen hearing detects the faintest rustle of a vole or mouse tunneling beneath the snow. In this world of quiet, the coyote's patience and precision are its greatest tools. With a sudden, explosive leap, the coyote breaks through the crust, seizing its hidden meal. Each successful hunt is a small victory in the ongoing struggle for survival. High in the mountains, beneath the snow's surface, the tiny pika remains active. In its subnivean world, it survives on carefully gathered stores of grasses and wildflowers, a testament to foresight and resilience. Even here, in the heart of winter's stillness, life endures, quiet, hidden, and beautiful. Just as winter's grip seems absolute, a subtle shift begins to occur. The air softens and the land, long locked in silence, stirs with anticipation. The days stretch longer, sunlight lingers on the snow, and warmth seeps into the frozen ground. The first trickles of melting snow begin their journey down the ancient granite, feeding streams and rivers that will soon surge with life. Spring in Yosemite is a season of dramatic and joyful awakening. Meadows, once buried beneath a white hush, burst into color as wildflowers push through the thawing earth, painting the landscape with vibrant hues. The park is reborn in a torrent of water and life. Waterfalls swollen with snowmelt thunder down cliffs, their roar echoing through the valleys. Overhead, the sky fills with the calls of migratory birds returning from distant lands, their arrivals signaling the start of a new cycle. It is a time of renewal and rebirth. Survivors of the long, cold months emerge from their shelters, drawn by the promise of abundance. The landscape teems with possibility, every creature sensing the urgency to begin life anew. From the quiet darkness of their dens, black bears step into the dazzling light of spring. Their senses are sharp, their bodies lean from months of fasting, and their instincts drive them to seek nourishment. They are a shadow of their autumn selves, having lost up to a third of their weight. Yet hunger fuels their determination as they roam the awakening forest, searching for the first green shoots, insects, and the remains of winter's casualties. Every mouthful is precious. The bear's foraging stirs the soil, disperses seeds, and shapes the undergrowth, their actions echoing through the ecosystem. For mother bears, this is a time of both challenge and hope. Her cubs, born in the safety of winter's den, now take their first tentative steps into a world alive with sights and scents. She leads them through sun-dappled forests, teaching them to forage, to climb, to listen for danger. Each lesson is vital, for survival depends on knowledge passed from one generation to the next. Mule deer, having weathered the winter in sheltered valleys, now ascend with the retreating snow line. Their migration is a silent procession, following the green wave of new growth up the mountainsides. Weakened by scarcity, they graze eagerly on tender shoots and grasses, replenishing their strength. Their presence shapes the meadows, pruning plants and fertilizing the soil, their movements intertwined with the rhythm of the land. For the males, spring brings transformation. Antlers, shed in winter, now regrow at a remarkable pace, half an inch each week, drawing nutrients from the lush vegetation. These antlers will soon play a role in the contests and courtships to come. In late May and early June, the cycle of life continues as females give birth. Fawns, delicate and vulnerable, lie hidden in tall grasses, their spotted coats blending perfectly with the dappled light. Their stillness is their shield, a silent hope for survival. Along the rivers, beavers are hard at work. The melting snow has swelled the streams, and the beavers' dams and lodges bear the scars of winter's floods. With tireless energy, they repair and rebuild, felling saplings and weaving branches. Their engineering creates ponds and wetlands, habitats that nurture countless other species, from frogs and fish to dragonflies and waterfowl. Inside the safety of their lodges, new life stirs. Beaver kits, born in the warmth of spring, huddle together, awaiting their first swim in the world their parents have shaped. All around, the ecosystem hums with renewed energy. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, plays a part in this intricate web of life. Squirrels and marmots emerge from their burrows, their activity surging as they gather food and rebuild nests. Their movements aerate the soil. Their calls add to the chorus of spring. Spring in Yosemite is a powerful, moving reminder of nature's resilience. Here, every life is connected, each birth, each struggle, each renewal, woven into the fabric of the wild. The return of life is not just a spectacle, but a symphony of interdependence echoing through the valleys and forests, promising that the cycle will continue year after year. Yosemite's landscape, shaped by ancient glaciers and the slow march of time, is now being transformed by forces that move with unprecedented speed. The park's wild wonders, its forests, rivers and meadows, are all experiencing the profound effects of environmental change. The most pervasive of these changes is the warming climate. Over the last century, average temperatures in Yosemite have risen by about 3 degrees Fahrenheit. This seemingly modest increase is reshaping the very fabric of the ecosystem. Winters, once long and harsh, are now shorter and milder. Snowfall is less frequent, and the snowpack that once blanketed the Sierra Nevada is shrinking. The early arrival of spring meltwater means rivers swell sooner, but dry out faster, leaving the valley parched in the heat of summer. The reduction in snowpack, which acts as a natural reservoir, leads to drier summers and an increased risk of drought. Wetlands, once abundant, are receding. For the beaver, this means fewer opportunities to build dams and create the lush, watery habitats they depend on. As wetlands vanish, so too do the intricate webs of life they support. High in the alpine zones, the tiny pika faces a race against time. Sensitive to heat, these small mammals are forced to climb ever higher in search of cooler temperatures. But the mountains have limits, and as the climate warms, the pika's options dwindle, pushing them closer to the edge of survival. Other animals, too, are adapting in remarkable ways. Mule deer shift their grazing patterns, seeking out new sources of food as traditional meadows dry up. Grey foxes alter their territories, navigating fragmented forests and searching for safe passage across a changing landscape. The warming, drying conditions also fuel another formidable force: wildfire. Fire has always been a part of Yosemite's story, playing a crucial role in the life cycle of the giant sequoias. But now fires burn hotter and more frequently, overwhelming the natural rhythms of renewal. Massive blazes like the Rim Fire leave behind vast scars, destroying food sources and shelter for countless creatures. In the aftermath, the landscape is transformed. Blackened forests and barren meadows bear the footprints of animals searching for sustenance. Some species, like the black bear, roam farther in search of food, while others, like birds, must find new nesting grounds amid the ashes. Yet, even as the environment changes, Yosemite's wildlife demonstrates extraordinary resilience. Some plants and animals adapt by shifting their ranges, altering their behaviors, or finding new ways to survive. The chorus frog, for example, may breed earlier in the season, while certain birds adjust their migration patterns to match the new climate. The evolving landscape of Yosemite is a testament to both the power of nature and the adaptability of its inhabitants. But the challenges are immense, and the future remains uncertain. As the world changes, so too must the wild wonders of Yosemite, each species striving to endure in a landscape that is no longer as predictable as it once was. In this era of transformation, the story of Yosemite is one of adaptation, resilience, and the ongoing struggle for survival, a story written in the tracks of animals, the growth of new plants, and the ever-shifting patterns of the land itself. Amidst the towering granite cliffs and ancient forests of Yosemite, a remarkable story of resilience and recovery is quietly unfolding, a story written not just in the survival of its wild creatures, but in the revival of its very landscape. Here, teams of scientists, rangers and conservationists work hand in hand, their efforts focused on healing the land and nurturing the wild inhabitants that call it home. Their mission is clear: to restore balance, protect vulnerable species, and ensure that Yosemite's natural wonders endure for generations to come. Every sapling planted and every animal released is a testament to the power of hope. These acts, though small in the moment, ripple outward, rebuilding forests, reviving meadows, and giving threatened species a second chance. The promise made over a century and a half ago to protect this wild sanctuary lives on in these efforts. It is a promise renewed each day as new generations learn to cherish and defend the living tapestry of Yosemite. Among the most inspiring stories is that of Yosemite's black bears. Once threatened by human encroachment and easy access to food, these iconic animals faced an uncertain future. In decades past, bears were drawn to campsites and roadsides, their natural instincts disrupted by the lure of human food. This led to dangerous encounters and declining bear populations. But through innovative solutions, like bear-proof food lockers and trash cans, along with relentless public education, the tide has turned. Bears are now safer, and so are the people who visit their home. The results are dramatic. According to a recent National Park Service report, bear-related incidents have dropped by 75%, a clear sign that coexistence is possible when people and wildlife are both respected. Today, black bears roam freely, foraging for acorns and berries as they once did, their numbers rebounding and their wildness restored. The story of recovery extends beyond the bears. Across Yosemite, meadows once drained and forests once scarred are being brought back to life through large-scale habitat restoration. Over the past decade, conservationists have restored 15% more natural habitat, breathing new life into areas that had been lost to development or neglect. Revitalized meadows now support grazing deer and countless other species, while restored wetlands help maintain the park's vital water balance and provide sanctuary for amphibians, birds, and insects. The return of the beaver is another chapter in this hopeful tale. Reintroduced in the 1930s, these industrious animals have transformed streams and valleys, building dams that create lush wetlands and support a web of life, from songbirds to otters to wildflowers. Even the smallest plants have their champions. Native wildflowers, once crowded out by invasive species, are making a comeback thanks to careful management and the removal of non-native plants. Volunteers and staff work together to keep the park clean, reducing trash by 20%, and giving native flora and fauna a healthier environment in which to thrive. By guiding visitors along designated paths and protecting sensitive breeding grounds, the park ensures that wildflowers bloom undisturbed and that animals can raise their young in peace. Each of these efforts, whether restoring a meadow, protecting a bear, or planting a single seed, adds a thread to Yosemite's tapestry of hope. Together, they tell a story of resilience, where nature and humanity work side by side to heal, to protect, and to celebrate the wild heart of Yosemite. As we journey through the ever-changing seasons of Yosemite, we witness a world shaped entirely by nature's hand, a world of breathtaking beauty, fierce struggle, and astonishing resilience. Here, every living thing, from the smallest moss to the mightiest sequoia, is woven into a tapestry of life that has endured for millennia. In the hush of summer, a bobcat waits in tall grass, its patience a silent testament to the art of survival. In autumn, the black bear forages with urgency, gathering strength for the long, cold sleep ahead, while the coyote moves quietly through the snow, embodying endurance in the heart of winter. With the arrival of spring, meltwater rushes through meadows, wildflowers bloom in a riot of color, and the land pulses with renewed life. Each season brings its own challenges and miracles, and every creature adapts, perseveres, and thrives in the face of nature's tests. The stories of these animals are not just tales of a distant wilderness. They are a profound reflection of the intricate, interconnected web of life that sustains our entire planet. The river's clarity, the forest's depth, the mountain's strength, all are shaped by the countless lives that call this place home. The survival of the bear, the eagle, the beaver, and the deer is inextricably linked to the health of the rivers, the forests, and the skies. The granite cliffs and ancient sequoias stand as silent witnesses to the passage of time, their roots entwined with the fate of every living thing around them. These wild places are not merely scenic wonders. They are sanctuaries of biodiversity, living laboratories where evolution's story continues to unfold. They are reservoirs of clean air and water, and sources of spiritual renewal for all who dwell within their embrace. To allow these places to fade is to lose a piece of the earth's own memory, to sever the ancient connections that bind all life together. The resilience of the pine sapling after fire, the return of salmon to their ancestral streams, the silent growth of lichen on stone, each is a reminder of nature's power to heal and endure. The responsibility to protect these wonders falls not to any one being, but is carried in the wind, the water, and the soil itself. The hope for Yosemite's future lies in the continued harmony of its wild inhabitants, in the cycles of birth, growth, and renewal that have shaped this land for ages. Conservation is written in the beaver's dam, the eagle's flight, the bear's den, and the wildflower's bloom. It is found in the way the river carves its path, the way the forest recovers after storm and fire, and the way the seasons turn unbroken. To preserve the wild is to honor the silent wisdom of the trees, the courage of the creatures who roam the night, and the quiet persistence of life in all its forms. It is to ensure that the roar of waterfalls, the call of the coyote, and the golden light on untouched wilderness will echo through the ages. Yosemite is more than a place. It is a living promise, a legacy of wildness, beauty, and hope. By safeguarding its wonders, we ensure that the stories of the bear, the eagle, and the beaver will continue to unfold, and that this sanctuary will forever remain a testament to the enduring power and beauty of life on Earth. In the heart of Yosemite, the rivers are more than moving water. They are the lifeblood of the valley, shaping every living thing in their path. From the first trickle of snowmelt high in the Sierra, the Merced and Tuolumne rivers carve their way through ancient granite, forging channels that sustain entire worlds. Along their banks, emerald mosses cling to damp stones, while willow roots anchor the soil, preventing erosion and nurturing the tender shoots of spring. Each bend and eddy becomes a cradle of life. Rainbow trout dart beneath the surface, their shimmering scales catching flecks of light. Dragonflies hover above the ripples, their wings a blur as they hunt for tiny prey. In the quiet shallows, newly hatched frogs emerge, their chorus blending with the rush of water, a symphony that marks the turning of seasons. Beavers sculpt intricate lodges, their dams slowing the current, creating pools that offer sanctuary to ducklings and shelter to shy otters. The river's pulse is felt far beyond its banks. Towering pines and ancient sequoias draw nourishment from its depths, their roots reaching down to drink from hidden veins. Wildflowers bloom in vibrant profusion, their colors a signal to bees and butterflies, who, in turn, pollinate the next generation of forest life. Even the granite cliffs, shaped by centuries of flowing water, provide nesting ledges for peregrine falcons and safe havens for wild sheep. During spring floods, the rivers overflow, soaking meadows and forests alike. These annual surges deposit rich silt, feeding the soil and ensuring the health of the land for seasons to come. When summer heat returns, deep pools offer refuge for fish and cool respite for thirsty deer. In autumn, salmon return from the distant ocean, braving waterfalls and rapids to lay their eggs in the gravel beds where their own lives began. Their journey nourishes not just the river, but bears, birds, and even the trees, as nutrients from the sea become part of the valley's cycle. Every drop of water, every ripple, is a thread in the tapestry of Yosemite's wildness. The rivers do not simply flow through the valley. They bind it together, connecting forest to meadow, cliff to canyon, life to life. Their story is one of ceaseless movement, of transformation and renewal, echoing the enduring rhythm of nature itself. To understand Yosemite, one must listen to the song of its rivers, a song that sustains, shapes, and connects all who dwell within this timeless sanctuary. As dusk settles and the last golden rays slip behind granite peaks, Yosemite transforms. The day's chorus fades, replaced by a deeper, more secret symphony. In the hush of night, a hidden world awakens, one that few ever glimpse. Beneath the cloak of darkness, moonlight spills across silent meadows. Between the trunks of ancient pines, delicate shapes begin to stir. A great horned owl glides on silent wings from perch to perch, each beat of its feathers a whisper against the still air. Its wide eyes catch the faintest movement. a mouse scurrying through the grass. With pinpoint precision, the owl swoops, talons extended, mastering the art of the silent hunt. Far below, the river's song softens, and along its shadowed banks, a family of raccoons emerges. Their masked faces glimmer in the silver light as nimble paws search for crayfish among the stones. Every ripple and splash is a signal, a language only the night dwellers understand. In a thicket of manzanita, a bobcat prowls, her dappled coat blending with the patchwork of moonlight and shadow. She pauses, ears twitching, listening for the faint rustle of a rabbit. Her movements are measured, each step a testament to patience and purpose. Elsewhere, bats spiral above the treetops, weaving through the darkness in search of insects. Their calls, inaudible to human ears, paint a portrait of the landscape in echoes, a living map that guides them through the maze of branches and leaves. Even the smallest creatures play their part. Deer mice dart from burrow to burrow, while moths flutter around pale wildflowers that only open at night. In the stillness, the scent of blooming night jasmine drifts on the cool breeze, inviting pollinators to feast under the stars. Nocturnal life in Yosemite is a dance of shadows and silhouettes. Each creature moves with purpose, woven into the fabric of the night. Their stories unfold in silence, unseen but essential, shaping the valley in ways the daylight never reveals. In these hours, the wild heart of Yosemite beats on, mysterious, vibrant, and alive. The night belongs to those who thrive in darkness, guardians of secrets that will vanish with the dawn. As night lingers and the first hints of dawn brush the sky, Yosemite prepares for one of its oldest rhythms, a silent procession, measured not in hours, but in seasons. Across the vastness of the valley and the soaring granite walls, migrations begin. This is a time of movement, of journeys shaped by instinct and survival, as birds and mammals alike heed ancient signals written in the wind and the lengthening of days. High above, in the thinning light of early spring, the air comes alive with the flicker of wings. Swallows return in swirling flocks, their acrobatic flights tracing invisible patterns over Merced's waters. Warblers, clad in brilliant yellow and olive, flit from branch to branch, their songs heralding the return of warmth. Farther up, the haunting calls of sandhill cranes echo across meadows, their long necks outstretched, flying in elegant formation to ancestral breeding grounds. The great grey owl, silent sentinel of the forest, follows the snow line as it retreats upslope, seeking the cool embrace of higher elevations. Meanwhile, Clark's nutcrackers dart among the pines, gathering seeds and scattering them, planting forests for the future with every purposeful flight. On the forest floor, the migrations unfold in quieter ways. Mule deer, their coats thick and dappled, begin their trek from the low valley to the high country, following green shoots and melting snow. Their journey is mirrored by elusive mountain lions who shadow their movements, drawn by the promise of prey. Black bears, roused from winter's sleep, wander vast distances in search of berries and tender plants, their path winding through groves and across rocky slopes. Even the smallest travelers play their part. Dusky-footed wood rats and chipmunks scurry through the underbrush, gathering supplies as they shift their territories in tune with the changing seasons. Each creature's journey is a thread in a larger tapestry, a web of movement that connects meadow to mountain, river to ridge. These migrations shape Yosemite's story, weaving lifelines across the landscape. They are testaments to resilience and memory, to the power of instinct and the pull of home. As the valley pulses with life on the move, the cycle of arrival and departure continues, season after season, unseen yet unbroken. In this endless journey, Yosemite is both crossroads and sanctuary, a place where wild travelers find refuge, and where the promise of return is written in every wing beat and every silent step. Beneath the grandeur of towering cliffs and beneath the sweep of open meadows, Yosemite holds secrets in the smallest of places. Here, in the shadowed cracks of ancient granite and the silent decay of fallen logs, entire worlds unfold, micro-ecosystems teeming with life, mostly unseen and rarely celebrated. Within a single rock crevice, a miniature forest takes root. Mosses, delicate and emerald, cling to damp stone, their tiny leaves drawing moisture from the morning mist. Lichens, pale and intricate, etch slow-growing patterns across the granite, thriving where little else can. In these narrow refuges, ferns unfurl, their fronds reaching for thin slivers of sunlight, while spiders spin silken webs between rough edges, waiting for passing prey. On the forest floor, fallen logs become bridges between life and decay. Bark peels away to reveal bustling colonies of beetles and ants, each carving tunnels and chambers through the softening wood. Fungi bloom in sculpted clusters, coral pink, ghostly white, deep umber, breaking down the ancient giants, returning their nutrients to the soil. Slender salamanders slip through the cool dampness beneath the bark, feeding on tiny invertebrates that make this rotting world their home. Tiny worlds thrive in the hollows of acorns, the curls of decomposing leaves, and the moist darkness beneath stones. Springtails and mites, barely visible to the eye, leap and scurry through miniature forests of detritus. Here, cycles of life and death play out in fast motion, each creature a vital link in the endless process of renewal. These overlooked places are laboratories of adaptation, where life finds a foothold in the most unlikely spaces. Every crevice and fallen log is a testament to resilience, a reminder that Yosemite's wildness is not only vast, but also infinitely intricate. In the hidden worlds beneath our notice, the valley's quiet magic endures. Even in the smallest shadows, life persists, shaping the landscape from the ground up, one tiny miracle at a time. Above the silent forests and granite walls, the sky is always in motion, an unseen artist painting Yosemite with shifting light and shadow. Weather, in all its moods, is the valley's quiet architect, shaping every living thing below. In spring, moist Pacific winds sweep over the Sierra crest, spilling clouds into the valley. Soft rain patters on pine needles, awakening the roots of oak and fir, coaxing wildflowers from the thawing earth. Each raindrop is a promise, soaking into mossy boulders and gathering in shallow pools where chorus frogs sing their ancient songs. When summer arrives, sunlight pours down in golden sheets, and the valley shimmers with heat. Meadows dry and grasses turn to gold. Deer seek the shade of ancient trees, while butterflies drift where water lingers. Thunderheads build on distant peaks, heralding sudden storms. Lightning forks across the sky, igniting the scent of ozone and pine. For a moment the world holds its breath. Then rain falls in torrents, feeding streams that rush and tumble toward the valley floor. Autumn brings a gentler touch. Cool breezes swirl fallen leaves into copper drifts. The air grows crisp, and the first frost dusts the high country. Bears shuffle through quiet forests, fattening on acorns and berries before the long sleep of winter. Squirrels gather pine cones, their instinct tuned to the shifting winds and shortening days. Winter's arrival is silent and absolute. Snow drapes the cliffs in white, muffling the sound of rivers and softening every edge. Trees stand patient, limbs heavy beneath the weight. In burrows and beneath the snow, life persists. Mice and voles, tunneling through icy labyrinths, pine martins padding quietly on frosted ground. The cold is a sculptor, etching rhyme onto needles and bark, painting the landscape with crystal patterns that vanish at the first touch of morning sun. Each season's weather is a test, a gift, and a challenge. Plants bend to wind and cold, roots reaching deeper each year. Animals adapt in turn, changing coats, altering diets, shifting ranges to match the rhythms of rain and drought, warmth and chill. The patterns repeat, year after year, shaping the lives of all who call this place home. In Yosemite, the weather is never just background. It is the pulse of the wild heart, the unseen hand that draws forth blooms, hushes the forest, and whispers to every creature, adapt, endure, begin again. Beneath Yosemite's towering forests and sprawling meadows, an ancient force pulses: fire. Far from being merely a destroyer, fire is a vital architect of this wild landscape, shaping life in ways both subtle and profound. For millennia, lightning has struck dry branches and parched grasses, igniting blazes that sweep through the valley and high country. These natural fires clear away dense undergrowth and fallen debris, making space for sunlight to reach the forest floor. In the wake of flames, nutrients locked in dead wood and leaf litter are released, feeding the soil and nourishing a flush of new growth. Fire-adapted species, like the giant sequoia, rely on heat to open their cones and scatter seeds, an evolutionary partnership forged over countless generations. As flames pass through, some plants perish, but many endure. Black oak and manzanita sprout anew from roots and buried stems, their life cycles synced to the rhythm of fire. Wildflowers such as lupine and fireweed bloom in the ash-rich soil, painting the land with color where once there was only grey. For animals, fire is both a challenge and an opportunity. Deer and black bears move through recently burned areas, drawn by tender shoots and berries. Woodpeckers and bluebirds nest in fire-hollowed snags, while insects swarm to feast on charred wood. Even the smallest creatures, beetles, fungi, and microbes, find niches in the aftermath, breaking down remains and returning life to the ecosystem. Though fire can appear sudden and fierce, its role is measured and essential. In the absence of regular burns, forests grow crowded and fuel accumulates, setting the stage for more intense, damaging wildfires. Through cycles of burning and renewal, Yosemite's habitats remain diverse and resilient, supporting an intricate web of life. Here, fire is not an enemy, but a partner in creation, a force that shapes the mosaic of forest, meadow, and granite, ensuring that the valley's story continues, season after season, century after century. Long before the first seeds sprouted or the earliest animals took shelter beneath the trees, Yosemite was a realm shaped by titanic forces. The story begins deep beneath the surface, where molten rock slowly cooled, crystallizing into the granite heart of the Sierra Nevada. Over eons, tectonic forces thrust this stone skyward, forming towering cliffs and domes. But it was ice, ancient, relentless, and patient, that would carve Yosemite's most iconic features. For millions of years, glaciers crept through the valley, their immense weight sculpting U-shaped canyons, sheer walls, and polished domes. With each advance and retreat, they ground stone into dust, plucked boulders from mountainsides, and left behind moraines that now cradle meadows and forests. Water, too, became an artist. Snowmelt and rainwater trickling and tumbling across the landscape, etched deep gorges and racing waterfalls. Over time, rivers cut through granite, creating winding paths and tranquil pools. The valley floor rose and fell, shaped by the subtle balance of erosion and deposition. Even now, the land is never still. Frost splits boulders, roots pry at cracks, and the slow drift of continents continues beneath the surface. Lichen and moss paint stone with color, while wind sculpts sharp edges into soft curves. Each layer of rock tells a fragment of the valley's story, a testament to the ancient fires, crushing glaciers, and ceaseless flow of water that together built this cathedral of stone. Yosemite's grandeur is etched, not just in the life it shelters, but in the bones of the earth itself, a living record of time's unfathomable passage, written in granite and ice. Beneath the towering cliffs and among the ancient trees, a hidden world pulses with activity, the realm of Yosemite's insects. Though often overlooked, these tiny architects are the silent engineers of the valley's ecosystems. In the dappled light beneath ferns, beetles break down fallen logs, returning nutrients to the soil and nourishing the next generation of forest giants. Ants form bustling colonies, aerating the earth as they tunnel and transport seeds, tiny gardeners ensuring the renewal of meadows and woodlands. On the breeze, butterflies and bees flit from blossom to blossom, weaving through wildflowers in a delicate dance of pollination. Their tireless journeys ensure that plants bear fruit, feeding birds, bears, and countless other creatures. Dragonflies skim the surface of tranquil ponds, keeping mosquito populations in check, while lacewings and ladybugs patrol leaves, defending the forest from outbreaks of pests. Beneath stones and in cool crevices, springtails and millipedes break down dead leaves, transforming decay into fertile ground. Even the briefest life, a mayfly's single day above water, ripples through the food web, feeding fish, frogs, and birds in a fleeting celebration of abundance. Each insect, no matter how small, is a vital thread in Yosemite's living tapestry. Their lives knit together plants, animals, soil, and water, sustaining the web of life that stretches from the valley floor to the highest granite peaks. In their quiet industry, the invisible architects remind us, every life, no matter how humble, shapes the story of this wild and wondrous place. Among the granite spires and sweeping meadows of Yosemite, plants wage a silent struggle against forces both ancient and relentless. Here, the flora are more than survivors. They are masters of adaptation, each species finely tuned to thrive in a land of dramatic contrasts. High on sun-baked cliffs, the western juniper clings to bare stone, its gnarled roots wedging deep into fissures where mere dust gathers. These trees endure with minimal soil and little water, their thick, waxy needles shielding against scorching rays and winter's icy winds. In the valley below, towering black oaks and ponderosa pines stretch toward the sky, their bark thick and rugged, a natural armor against wildfire's ancient touch. In the meadows, shooting stars and lupines bloom in a brief, spectacular burst, racing to complete their life cycle before the summer sun dries the land. Their seeds lie dormant through drought and frost, awakening only when conditions are just right, a patient strategy honed over millennia. Along riverbanks, willows and alders send roots deep into shifting gravel, anchoring themselves against floods and feasting on the life-giving waters that surge in spring. Even in the shadowy understory, ferns unfurl delicate fronds, capturing filtered sunlight and moisture from the air. Mosses and lichens cloak boulders and fallen logs, thriving where others cannot, extracting sustenance from mist and stone. Wildflowers, too, have their secrets. Some produce toxins to deter hungry grazers, while others mimic the scent or shape of insects to ensure their pollination. Through fire, drought, flood, and frost, Yosemite's plants endure. Each adaptation a testament to resilience, innovation, and the ceaseless dance between life and the land. Their quiet ingenuity forms the green foundation upon which all other life depends, shaping the valley's future with every leaf, root, and seed. High above Yosemite's granite domes, winter's deep silence is broken only by the whisper of falling snow. Here each flake is a promise, an investment in the life to come. When spring sunlight finally kisses the high country, the snowpack begins to surrender, drop by crystalline drop. Melt water gathers in rivulets, threading through alpine meadows and carving new paths through ancient stone. This transformation is quiet at first, a trickle beneath the trees, a shimmer over mossy rocks. But soon gravity gathers the melt into roaring torrents. Waterfalls awaken, thundering over cliffs in a spectacle of motion and sound. Bridal Veil, Yosemite, Vernal, and countless unnamed cascades pour life from the heights to the valley floor, their mist nourishing ferns, mosses, and wildflowers in their spray-soaked shadows. The rivers below swell with snowmelt, flooding banks and breathing new energy into the land. Gravel bars shift, sediments swirl. Along these restless waters, willows and cottonwoods drink deep, their roots holding firm against the current. Fish ride the flow, finding new pools and spawning grounds, while amphibians emerge to lay eggs in the quiet shallows left behind by the receding surge. Even the smallest lives are shaped by water's pulse. Insects hatch by the millions, feeding birds and bats that swoop above the streams. Dragonflies skim the surface, their wings catching the sun. Salamanders slip through cool, shaded pools. Everywhere the rhythm of water orchestrates the unfolding of life. As summer deepens, waterfalls shrink to ribbons, then vanish, leaving behind polished rock and memory. Yet beneath the surface, water still flows, filtered through gravel, feeding hidden springs, sustaining roots through the hottest days. In this endless cycle, snow to stream, waterfall to river, drought to deluge, water is Yosemite's beating heart. It sculpts the land, nourishes the wild, and ties every living thing to the pulse of the seasons. Here, life is written in water, its story renewed with every drop that falls from the sky.